And we back. Welcome back to another episode of the Get Buggish podcast powered by Hardwinning Basketball. I'm your host, Musa Marathi. It's been about a week since I've been on here, but I've just been having a lot going on with school basketball. You know how it is. But I'm here to talk about Tuesday's games and just get in depth on where I see these teams. I will be getting more personal with the teams like I was, but for now, let's keep it at the recap. Starting off with Wade beating Greer 74 to 65. Now, this puts Wade Hampton at first place in that 4A region with teams like Eastside, Riverside, and Lawrence, and Greer, of course. And that's a good place for him because, as we know, Greer's been doing pretty well in that region, and Wade actually lost to Greer by about 24 last time at Greer. And for them to come back and bounce back and win by 9 at Wade Hampton is huge. I like to mention how they are on a 6-game win streak, by the way, and I don't think they've lost a game since they lost to Greer and then they lost to Burns. But since they've lost to Burns, they have not lost at all, and it's great and it's just good to see. All their seniors have been stepping up. CJ Okadigwe, who I will never fail to mention, really been a solid player this season, and especially in 2023 alone, and just one of the fun players to watch. Can get up, has amazing verticality, good defensive player, and just has a good sense of being a center, I like to say, and has really been making noise in his senior year. He had 24 points and 14 rebounds. Nikel Franklin, who I never fail to mention, 25 points and 7 rebounds. And Cooper Tankersley, who actually just committed to Citadel, congratulations to him, had 17 points and 4 assists. But this is good for Wade Hampton, and I hope they can continue this. And honestly, this is the team to watch right now in Greenville County now that they are on a 6-game win streak. This is a team. And I was even thinking earlier, if Wade Hampton and a team like Greenville get matched up, that'll be a fun game. I mean, Greenville's been doing really well, but these Wade Hampton boys, they got some dogs, and they're all seniors. So a lot of them, I mean, minus Katie Owens, of course, Katie Owens and guys like KJ, but they got some guys, and I doubt will want to go out early. So that might be a game to witness if it does occur in the playoffs. Next game I want to talk about is J.O. Mann defeating number 1 T.O. Hanna 59 to 50. And I believe that's a 2-game win streak for J.O. Mann, putting them at 3-3 after starting off the region 1-3. And after last week, where I was talking about how they needed to be more consistent, they actually went and beat number 1 Woodmont on Friday, and then bounced back and beat T.O. Hanna on Tuesday. Those are 2 tough games back to back, and they were able to come out with the wins. Against T.O. Hanna 2 days ago, I saw that Jaquavius Hill had about 14, Natumbo had 13, Isaiah Henry, I believe, had 11. So they're all making it work, and it's a team basketball, man. It's definitely team basketball, and this is huge for JL, man. 3-3 in region now. I believe they're the 4th seed behind Hillcrest, who I'm getting ready to talk about right here after Hillcrest beat number 1 Woodmont, because Woodmont and T.O. Hanna were tied. And I guess at this moment, Woodmont has 2 losses. T.O. Hanna has 2 losses because now T.O. Hanna has lost to Jailman and Woodmont, and Woodmont has lost to Hillcrest and Jailman. So Hillcrest beat Woodmont 56 to 50, and that puts Woodmont. They have lost their last 2 games, and Hillcrest is now 3-2. While Hillcrest is 3-2, this still puts them at the 3rd seed just because T.O. Hanna and Woodmont have 1 extra game under their belt. But this is basically a 3-way tie right here. And this 5A region, which I really thought was just between Woodmont and T.O. Hanna, just got real interesting. These 4 teams at the front, honestly, all could have a chance at winning region at this point. Malden, man. Since I made the video, man, it's been rough. It's been rough. But them sitting at the 5 seed right now, they didn't play a region game this past Tuesday, but they did lose to Dorman, who is 21-2 now, 84 to 55. Dorman defeat Malden, and Malden is on a 6-game skid right now. Like I said in the last one, I really hope they bounce back. I believe Braden still consistently. I was looking consistent 16 to 17 a game. And I just hope they can finish the season on a good note rather than how it is right now. But they are, I can't fail to mention, they are playing very tough teams in only 5A teams. So, I mean, kudos for that. But I hope that they get a few wins out of here and not leave the season on a streak of losses. But moving from that 5A region, which is just really fun to watch right now, let's move on to speaking of Dorman beating Malden, we're going to go to Spartanburg 5A. Bern beats Boiling Springs 76-43. And Burns, they've been doing a lot better in their second half going through region. Actually defeated Spartanburg on Friday, I believe. And this really, I really want to emphasize Boiling Springs right now because they were doing pretty well going into region. And Trey, that's my guy, man. Trey Locklear for them. He's a senior, committed to Limestone University, so he's set. But man, I just wish I just hope that they can do a little, just finish the season on a good note. Right now, they are sitting at 1-5 in region at the 4 seed. Lucky enough, just because Gaffney has been struggling so bad, but losing by 30. What is that? 33. Just I feel like they're better than this. They lost to Burns by 1 last time, and I believe, where did they play at? They even played. They did play at Burns this time, but I just feel like they need a win. Right now, they are currently on a 2-game losing streak, and hopefully they can bounce back. I believe they play Gaffney on Friday, so hopefully that's a win for them. And honestly, hopefully it's a win for Gaffney because right now Gaffney has not won a game in their region, and they need a win. I mean, but if they get a win, that's also puts more pressure on Boiling Springs, especially since they'd both be at 1 game. And that 4 seed, you need to be in the top 4 to make it in the playoffs. And I just hope my boy Trey can get them going and finish the season on a strong note. Especially after the fact that they did beat Teohana last week, and Teohana's quite a strong 5A team. So another thing on consistency and region, it's all good to win non-region, but when it comes to those region games, those are playoff defining. So hopefully they can get it going though. And speaking of Gaffney, Spartanburg defeats Gaffney 47-41. So not a huge victory, not by a huge margin. After Spartanburg was on a 2-game skid, but they had lost to Dorman and then Burns, a tough 2-game schedule. But they were 3-0. Now they are sitting at 4-2. I believe they might still be in the 2nd seed. Right now they are tied with Burns at 4-2. So it's between them for the 2nd seed. I believe Dorman should clinch the number 1 seed in the coming days. And like I said, Boiling Springs and Gaffney, the last 2 seeds. But let's move on to this some more 4A region games, especially in the Greenville County area. Riverside, man. I mean, teams are beating up on Lawrence. I think it's enough. I've said that enough times. They beat Lawrence 80-43. Just an absolute domination. And really nothing else I can say about that. Riverside gets another win under their belt, which is good. Right now, I believe they have only 2 losses in region. So they're still in the hunt for winning region. They are currently sitting at they're tied for 2 and 3 seed after Wade Hampton had won their last game. So, I mean, they're still in the hunt, but good win by Riverside. Greenville defeats easily 74-38. Man, there were some blowouts. There were some definite blowouts on Tuesday night. And this was just another one. Greenville's still putting on a show over in that region. But I still want to give credit to Westside. They did beat Berea only by 8 points, 70-62. But Westside has been winning these games. And, I mean, if they want to be able to be in contention for winning region, they have to keep winning because at the end of the day, Greenville versus Westside, that last game will be defining for who wins region. Because if Westside does beat Greenville, they'll have to play another game just for the tiebreaker at a neutral location, I'm assuming, unless they do point differential. And that could get a little tricky, I mean, Westside is still a good team nonetheless. But, I mean, Greenville's really been putting it together lately. Now, moving on to the 3A regions, and trust me, you want to hear this because this honestly caught my eye. TR clinches region after beating Chapman 68-43. I've been talking about how TR's just been dominant all throughout their time in 3A basketball. I mean, I don't think they've won. I think there was one game where they won under 20 points, and they clinched it on the 31st. So it hadn't even reached February yet, and they're already clinched region, which is just crazy to see. So they could lose the rest of their games. I think being two more games, and they could still win region. So congrats to Travelers Rest. Small city, big heart, man. TR doing it again. I think they've won region a couple of times in a row now, and just dominating throughout the whole region. So congratulations to Travelers Rest on winning their region in 3A. And this game, Blue Ridge actually defeating Carolina, which is the reason why TR clinched it, because now that Carolina has 3 losses, there is no possible way for Carolina to win region. And Blue Ridge is sitting at 3-3, while Carolina is sitting at, I believe, 4-3. And no, Blue Ridge did defeat them 49-32. I won't fail to mention 49-32. So another pretty large margin of victory, and Isaiah Smith putting up 12 points for Blue Ridge in the win and leading Blue Ridge to another victory in their hunt for making the playoffs, which puts them at the 3rd seed, by the way. I think that 2nd seed could still be Blue Ridge's. It's between them and Carolina at the end of the day. Hopefully Carolina can get it going after now they've lost 2 games in a row, I believe, to Travelers Rest and now Blue Ridge. But good luck to both of those schools. Southside. Now this is the fun region. Listen, man, this is the fun 3A region. Southside actually lost to Powdersville 71-65, which puts Powdersville at 6-2, and Southside also at 6-2. And now Wren is 6-1, I believe. But if they lose, they still have to play Powdersville. And if they lose to Powdersville, they will all be with 2 losses. And this could really make it tricky, because at this point, that means there's like a 3-way tie. And I don't know how they decide on that, but that makes things really interesting. And Powdersville is on a 4-game win streak. I don't think I checked who they play next. Powdersville might play they might actually be playing Wren next. They do play Wren next. So that this Friday, that game will be one to watch out for. I'll definitely keep that on my story. And by the way, on my story, I feel like every time I put on a poll, one of the games ends up being the opposite. Most of the majority vote one team, and the lesser team ends up winning. So it's basketball, man. It's fun, man. You never know who can win, and that's the beauty of it. But Powdersville's on a 4-game win streak going into this. I will not fail to mention how Nick Sweet had 25 points, 8 assists, and 7 rebounds against Southside, which is almost 25-point triple-double almost, and really probably put the team on his back going into near the end of the game and securing the win. But yeah, that's the beauty of that region, man. I can't wait to see how that game on Friday against Powdersville versus Wren goes, and best of luck to them. Now, for the second to last team, Shannon Forest defeats Oakbrook again in dominating fashion, 67-31. Chris Igbami has 19 points, and Brandon and Nolan's rebounds also contribute to the win. They're just, like always, just asserting their dominance, and best of luck to Shannon Forest as they go into playoffs. They might have secured a region at this point, but I'm not sure. But I know they'll keep playing hard and keep doing what they got to do. Lastly, GMC, Greer Middle College, defeats Chesney by 21, putting them at 7-1 in region. Just one with one loss behind Landrum, who is 8-0 after beating I believe Blacksburg by 13 at Blacksburg. And Musa Marathi has 40 points against Chesney on Tuesday at GMC. And also GMC has officially clinched a top 2 seed after Blacksburg lost to Landrum. That put them at 4 losses, and I believe GTC also has 4 losses. So with GMC only having 1 loss, they are officially in the top 2 seedings, and I just can't wait to see how this turns out, man. Landrum and Greer Middle College is definitely the game next Tuesday, and best of luck to both teams. They've both been playing really well, And Landrum's been playing well all throughout the season. And good luck to all of these teams I've talked about. And I cannot wait for the playoffs, man. You don't even know. It's about to be awesome. And best of luck to the seniors. It's almost the end of the season. Some teams have already had their senior nights. Man, it's been a fun season. And until next time, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.